Today's lesson is lesson 1 of unit 4 on triangle sum theorem. For the section opener, it says find the value of the variables. You have basically two triangles inside of a larger triangle. So there's a handful of different ways that you could go about this one. Hopefully you remember, and we have discussed before, that a triangle adds up to 180 degrees. A couple different ways to think about this then. If you have F, G, H, so F, G, and H. I don't know H, but I know F, and I know G is made up of 39 and 21, so you can find what angle Z is. We have triangle F, J, G. You have two angles. You can add them up, subtract from 180 to get the third. And then the final, G, J, H. If you use the angle Z that you found here, you then have 1, 2 of your angles. Subtract those from 180 in order to get Y. Try that on your own and come to class with the measure of Z, Y, and X. Triangle sum theorem. Nothing you don't already know, just a little more official. Triangle sum theorem says the sum of the measures of the angles of a triangle is 180. So the measure of angle A added to the measure of angle B added to the measure of angle C is 180. Pause the video if you need to write that down. Classifying triangles. This should not be any new information. You can classify two different ways, by angles. So we have equal angular, meaning all angles are congruent. We have acute, that all the angles are between 0 and 90. Right angle, meaning that there is at least one 90-degree angle. And obtuse would be the large one, meaning that one of the angles is greater than 90, but at the same time less than 180. So that the triangle is made up of one of those. You can also classify by sides, which is why we have the word equilateral. Equal angular triangles and equilateral triangles will be pretty much the same thing, but when we're talking about sides, lateral. When we're talking about angles, angular. Isosceles, two of the sides are congruent, they're marked. Scalene, no sides are congruent, so no sides are marked. Draw and mark a triangle to fit each description. So for problem A, draw me an acute scalene triangle. For problem B, draw me and mark an isosceles right triangle, and the same for letter C. What I'm asking for just below where it says classify the triangle, classify the sides of the triangle that are 10 centimeters, 8 centimeters, and 10 centimeters. Because they're given you your sides, flip back, look at classifying by sides, write down what it applies. Here you're classifying by angles. Again, flip back, look at the chart just here on the other page. Look at by angles and write down the one that you think it applies. Exterior angles. There's a definition hiding in here. It is the angle formed by a side and an extension of the adjacent side. So an exterior angle formed by a side and the extension. So if I extend the side, the exterior angle is here. It's formed by this green side and the red extension. We can do it in multiple other spots. If I were to extend that blue one, then you have an exterior there. So in regards to draw an exterior angle, draw one. Extend a side. There's your angle. You could extend this side if you wanted to. So there's your angle. They're on the outside of the triangle extended from a side. Algebra, find each missing angle measure. Couple ways we can do this. If I need to find the measure of angle 1 out here, we know that this triangle adds up to 180. So 40 and 30 gives me 70. So this angle must be 180 minus 70. And then the measure of angle 1 and this measure here are supplementary. They add and make a line. Same thing over here. Kind of work backwards. I can do 113 minus 180. I end up with 67. So 67 plus 70, and then subtract it from 180. I can end up getting the measurement of angle 2. So I ended up with 43 degrees. So 2 things of information we need to know. 1, if angles make a straight line, then they form a linear pair. And second, that all 3 of the interior angles of a triangle add up to 180. There's a shortcut. It's called the exterior angle theorem. It says that the measure of each exterior angle of a triangle equals the sum of the measures of its 2 remote interior angles. So let me erase all of this junk. The exterior angle is here. These 2 are remote interior angles. We figured out that the measure of angle 1 was 70. Those 2 added up was also 70. That's kind of your shortcut so that you don't need to get the line to be 180 and the triangle. Same thing over here for letter B. We ended up finding that the measure of angle 2 was 43, and it's because the exterior angle equals the 2 remote interior angles. So it does end up working out. While this is a shortcut for when numbers are involved, it is a required theorem when it comes to the algebraic expressions that need to be created for these next 2 problems. Recognizing that this angle on the outside is your exterior, these are your 2 interior angles. So the exterior angle needs to equal the sum of the 2 remote interior angles. And then you guys need to solve for x. The second problem here, we'll call it letter B. It's a little bit harder because you have all 3 of the interior angles. So which ones are remote? Not 3x plus 12 because it's adjacent. We're looking for the ones that are kind of across the triangle. So I'd set up the equation 11x plus 2 equals 5x plus 10 plus 58. So the exterior angle equals the sum of the remote interiors. And go ahead, calculate the x value so we can check it in class. Last one, explain what's wrong with this diagram. Do your best and formulate some sort of a response as to what you think the issue with this problem is. And then lastly, a last minute thought. I don't know if we've talked about this, so I threw it in. How do we name a triangle? We start by using a triangle symbol so that we don't have to write the word. And then you use 3 points. And these need to go, I guess, in order. Maybe not necessarily in order. Yeah, around the triangle in order, either clockwise or counterclockwise. So the problem up above, I could call it A, B, C. I could also call it, same triangle, C, B, A. So it's a lot like naming an angle, except you have the triangle in front. I could also call it B, C, A. The only difference between that and the angle is using the triangle symbol so that we know it's closed as opposed to being open. So your assignment, fill in all of the places that this video did not touch on, and we will go over in class, and then you will do the worksheet in class so that you don't have homework over the long weekend. Thank you.